Hi class. So instead of having the aids and or the sub going over my answer key, I really felt it would be beneficial to just show this video or for you to watch it on your Chromebooks to get the correct answers, to make sure that you know what we're talking about in regards to the story, how it could be applied to the essential question, and maybe obviously the importance of the multiple choice test. So I want to make sure we go through these, cover them the way I need them to be covered, and you can move on to your essential question essay prep. A couple things with that: make sure you all have a handout, make sure you're all working diligently in class today to work on preparing for that test. Let me know if you have any questions, email me, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. But again, I'm at a professional development session today, so it might not be as soon as it normally would be. And another couple things I want to clear up while we're at it. Jonathan Campbell was not the one who coined the term for the hero's journey. It's actually Joseph Campbell. So I know I said that in one of the sessions. I wrote down the wrong name, but it is Joseph Campbell that coined the term and came up with the idea, the theory of the hero's journey. So make sure you know that. The second thing I want to talk about is during the study session on Tuesday afternoon, we went over a White Heron, but with that, I said that Sylvia actually told the hunter about the bird's location and did want to accept the $10. However, that is not the case. I had it wrong. It's been a while since I've read this, so my apologies. But what she did do, she had this internal conflict. She's like, do I really tell the hunter where this location is? Do I take that $10? Like, I have a crush on him, like that kind of thing. But she has that internal conflict, and then she decides not to. And she's thinking at the end, she's like, well, maybe something better could have come of this situation. Maybe I could have gotten $10 and we could be in different circumstances. I don't know. But she still kept that connection with the bird. So I wanted to make that very clear to you that she did not tell the hunter where the bird's location was. Okay? So that being said, let's move on and start looking at the questions here. So question number 1, why does Sylvia like living with her grandmother? Well, she likes living with her grandmother because she used to live in a city in Maine where she was very uncomfortable. She didn't like people. She was very shy. She was scared of people. And she was living with her parents there. She just was not enjoying life. So she ended up moving out with her grandma. Very much enjoys it. It's quiet. It's more peaceful. She's by herself most of the time, aside from being with her grandma. But anyway, she's been there for a year, so she very much enjoys it. Then question number 2, what words were used to describe the man with the whistle? The words that I'm specifically looking for are like determined, aggressive whistle. You could also say that, he had the gun slung over his shoulder, he was looking very young, whatever, but the determined, aggressive whistle is really what gave way, because she was afraid of this person at first. Wasn't really sure how things were going to go. She's like, oh no, what's grandma going to think if I bring this person home? Like, that kind of thing. But then, obviously, getting back to grandma's house, she's like, oh yeah, let's be this perfect home, what's the word I'm looking for? Like somebody who really cares for their home. Hospitality. Great kind of thing like that. So she was very hospitable to him, took him in, whatever. So then question number 3, how does a grandmother describe Sylvia? Well, obviously she's afraid of people. It's one of the big things that we've talked about, that I've mentioned so far. And that she left her house with lots of children, so lots of siblings, to go live on the farm so she could be separate from all these people that she's afraid of. But she's a hard worker. She kind of keeps to herself, that thing. So then question number 4, what does the young man offer in exchange for the heron's location? She is offered $10 for the location of the heron, because he realizes that she might know her way around the woods. She might know things, more things, being in the area, going around all the time. So he offers that to her. But what do we know about the man? What does he do with the birds? Let's think about it for a second. Okay, so what we find out is that he actually takes the birds and shoots them, but then takes them and stuffs them. Cool, right? Like, why would you want to collect stuffed birds? I don't know, more power to him. But that's what he did with the animals. Okay, and then question number 5, how is the pine tree described and what does it symbolize? It's described as like a strong tree, and it's one of the last of the generations. There's a big section. Let me open this to the right page here. It's at the beginning of part 2. It says, half a mile from home, at the farther edge of the woods where the land was highest, a great pine tree stood, the last of its generation. Where it was left for a boundary mark, and for what reason no one could say, the woodchoppers who had felled its mates were dead and not gone long ago. And a whole forest of sturdy trees, pines, and oaks and maples had grown again. But the stately head of this old pine towered above them all, and made a landmark for sea and shore miles and miles away. Sylvia knew it well. She had always believed that whomever climbed to the top of it could see the ocean, and the little girl had often laid her hand on the great rough trunk and looked up wistfully as those dark boughs and the wind always stirred, no matter how hot and still the air might be below. Now she thought of the tree and the new excitement, for why, if one climbed it at the break of day, could not one see all the world, and easily discover from whence White Heron flew, and mark the place to find a hidden nest. So again, it's the last of the generations. It's one that towers over that people who use it as a landmark from the sea and the shore from miles away. So it's one of these very strong, sturdy trees. Okay, it might symbolize maybe the surviving white heron in the end, because again, she does not tell the hunter where the heron's location is. And maybe it could also symbolize her maturity as well, because for being her age, being young, she seems very mature. She kind of knows what she's doing. But maybe that's just the fact that she's afraid of people. She learned a lot more by keeping to herself. I don't know. But I think it might symbolize definitely her maturity and maybe the surviving white heron in the end. So then question number 6, what does Sylvia make the decision not to tell? What type of conflict is this? So her decision not to tell, obviously, is to not tell him where the bird is hiding, where the nest is. So she's siding with nature in this situation. And the type of conflict that this could be is definitely internal. She was struggling and grappling with the idea of, do I take this $10? Do I keep this and help my family? Or do I tell this person that I have this slight little crush on, my very first crush on? Do I tell him that, get the $10? He gets the bird in the end. Like, how is that going to work? We don't know. But again, she's got that internal conflict, and she decides not to tell the hunter. All right. So then question number 7, how is this story an example of regionalism? Well, it's using language and manners of the region that they were in, and they're focusing on connections between the world and human consciousness. So again, connections to the world. Think about what connections to the world we have. Just gonna wait for you to think about it, or look at your response to think about that again. But maybe the connection to the world is, again, like the language that's being used, or the different type of people she encountered in Maine, and the kind of lifestyle she went and found later on when she was living with Grandma. But we also could think about the human consciousness. Again, she had that internal conflict. She's like, well, do I really listen do I listen to myself and say, I don't tell the hunter like where this heron is? Do I not tell him to save the bird? She's dealing with that inner conscience, deciding what she should or should not do. Okay, so with that in mind, think about how this could possibly be. Actually, I think there's another question. Sorry, hold on. Oh yeah, so question number 8. Is Sylvia a hero or not? Use specific references to the text and refer to the hero's journey in a complete paragraph response. I very much hope you all used specific references from the text, because again, this could definitely help you for the essay test, how it could be applied. Think about that if you decide to use this story. It is so awesome, because this story is very easy to apply to the essential question. Remember, how do societal, historical, and or environmental factors influence human nature? Okay, so think about that, prepare for that. Again, email me if you have any questions. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Other than that, prepare. Don't waste class time today. Again, don't leave me bad subnotes, or I don't want to have bad subnotes, rather. So make sure you are on your best behavior. Remember, come on Thursday with your Chromebooks charged and ready to go, as you will be taking your essay test on that. Make sure you also have your rubric, because again, we're turning that in. Another 3 points for you. So make sure that is in the basket at the end of the hour on Thursday, but I'll remind you again when it comes time. I will see you all on Thursday. Have a fabulous day. Bye!